Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are having some interesting moments right here on my end. I'm getting some double chatter, but maybe it's coming through loud and clear, and you're gonna let me know if it is. My goodness gracious. Not sure where it's coming from. I'm getting the double play. I guess I got something open. Well, it's been a few minutes since I've been live. I know what's going on. I know what's going on. I gotta close that down right there. Well, hopefully it's coming through loud and clear. I'm Dr. Kevin Jarena, and well, it is the Transformation Program where it is Monday night, 7 o'clock. We are live. And well, we've had shifting sands in life and in time. And before we get started, I want to give a shout out to those in the Vision Living Mindset community. And for those that are in that community, I'm just reminding you, you got access to the library of information and content where we have our past episodes, learning and strategy content, some of the courses we teach, and of course, some personal training, the mind, body, spirit, and soul. So I just want to thank you for the members that are going there. And if you're not, you can check out drkeving.com and you'll see that scrolling on there. And boy, that one, and boom, we got to go right there, drkeving.com. And well, I'm 100% independent, and this is how we spread the word and also support you by supporting us. So these are products, services, and things that I use and personally have spent time and energy putting into my life to bring about a better existence and the ups and downs that goes in the nature of personal growth. You know, that's one of the secrets they don't tell you is that you have to process your stuff. And well, since since 2012, we have been going through a collective release, a processing, a dark night of the soul, as it may be called. But we're talking about synchronicity, and today's an amazing day. I'm hoping you're having synchronicity in your life because, well, things are aligning. So I'm going to check in on the chat. I'm going to see if people are able to see this and hear this. That's the nature of how things go in the internet world. So I'm going to check on the phone and let me know where you're at in the world if you're getting this. Um, the algorithms are awesome. I'm on streaming on a couple different services right now. I'll be uploading to offline and BitChute. Of course, I got things going on in different times and spaces and dimensions as far as what's happening on the internet. And I'm being a little bit how do I say this? Using secretive language, and I'm trying to see if I'm online right now, and I don't see myself streaming to that channel. So I'm going to see if I'm streaming to my page. And well, part of me, well, I take care of business live, but you know that's the way it has to go when it's a one man show. And well, like I'm recommending, and a lot of people that I know that are not necessarily, yeah, that's it. I'm in, and we are going live right now. Um, for those that are aware of the current situation at hand, people are going independent. People are going creating their own way because, well, there's a lot of pressure in the outside world. That being said, synchronicity, what is happening in your life today? And we've been being encouraged over the past few months to work on clearing ourselves, balancing ourselves. And how do I know this is the case? Well, this is my personal experience. People experiences lives that I work with each and every day, and I'm wondering if I'm coming through. I apologize. I'm thinking and chatting all at the same time. Oh, there it is. I am coming through. Perfect. All right. So I want to say thank you. And not much of a big show planned tonight, but I did have some inspiration I wanted to share about the waves of life, sound waves, the energy waves moving through the body. Um, waves. This is physics. And so when these general principles are understood, or at least the basic ideas, and we see in nature, that's half the fun is I see this in nature all the time. Whether looking at the ocean, looking at the air, looking at water in a river, whatever it may be, we see these same patterns of movement. And I got into this years ago by looking at what's called sacred geometry. The topic was sacred geometry. Now, I'm not a mathematician, and oftentimes my equations at the when they get a little more complicated here, they just don't necessarily add up. That's a funny statement to make. However, as I got into this knowledge and people's description of what sacred geometry, what is sacred geometry? We see this in things like the yin yang, the images, and I'm going to pull it up so you can see the image in a second. And then we see geometry. I love showing the searches. Let me just actually, you know what? I'll pull it up right now. Pull that one up. Geometry in nature. Hit that search up. And I'm using DuckDuckGo for those of you that want to know. And so, look, we're seeing these beautiful images, these perfect geometrical shapes in nature. And I've been posting a lot of this the past couple of days. I've been pretty much not participating in social media the past couple of months, not in a big way. But we see these shapes that repeating patterns that are present in plants that we see, the foods that we eat. It just is, and we can artistically draw these symbols in with designs. And I'm going to type in sacred geometry. So missed a letter there, but look at that, figures it out. So these shapes are all found within the mathematical dynamics of what a cell is, how living tissues function, how things in our atmosphere and different areas of life all play out and relate to one another. And so in these shapes, there's wisdom, there's insight, there's information. And so as I kept studying that, I got into you come along more and more information that come across these other topics, something called Vortex Mathematics. And this is where we start getting really interesting technology that interesting knowledge that develops in technologies that we use. Things like our cell phones and how they operate. Things that we heard about scientists in the past doing, notably Tesla, and not necessarily not the car company, but over 120, 130 years ago, 140 years ago now, we hear stories and reports of these amazing technologies that provided for humanity. Yet we seemingly don't have that today. That's a question. And so, with that being said, why am I sharing this tonight? One of the reasons I'm sharing this tonight is because I love looking at these symbols. I love looking, contemplating them and studying them. And in that endeavor, and through the last 15 years of my professional study, I have come across get rid of that, a lot of information. Oh, I did not mean to do that, ladies and gentlemen. Use that. This concept that in my professional trainings has led me to understand how to work on healing oneself, how to work on addressing and listening to the inner language within. And there's a scientific endeavor which, with great data, great information, great results, and we see people getting better. So I have a class coming up with this both going to be online and in person, and it's at the link. I'll drop the link in the chat because it's a unique link. It's in the description, and it's called Becoming Your Own Healer. And this is where we go over a concept, and we get into the practical application of knowing how you are energy, how energy moves in and around your body, how to communicate with energy, how to find out information from the energy, and then how to take action with those answers and get the results that you're desiring. So, what's the whole point of this discussion of this share of what we're doing in this workshop? It's a 3-hour live experiential workshop, and we'll be taking people through exercises and experiences and deep dives to learn how to check themselves better. Here's the link. I'm going to drop that right now. Here's the link for the workshop. And the idea is that, well, let's start with the general idea is that if you cut your hand, your body has the ability to heal itself. It will recover. Your job, keep it clean, keep the dirt out, things of this nature. But ultimately, there's nothing for you to do but live. And in that, there's a force that is guiding your body to repair itself. Well, there's a wisdom in that. There's an intelligence in that. And there's been, of course, an eloquent study of how the body and the mind and the fields, the energy fields. These are terms, but there's wonderful data that talks about what each of these layers of the tissues of the body structures and how they intercommunicate, and the study and the application of how to optimize this function. And it has everything to do with the body and the mind and the biofield. I'll type these terms in because these are all the topics that are interwoven together. See, the concept here is discussed within the topic of natural law. And I did pull up, yeah, here it is. I did pull a picture. See if I get the right, yes, the right image right there. This slide right here. This comes from Mark Paseo. I believe I'm pronouncing it correctly. A little enlarge here, and down here, and there is now, I don't know who his website is, but I know this comes from Mark Paseo. I've watched his webinars, I've studied his material, not as in depth as others, but I know I've had a fair amount of time. And I immediately picked out this slide from his presentation. And so here we are. We have the systems that are based upon principles and truth, harmonized with due to knowledge and understanding. Boy, this may not be the full slide, I don't think. Let's find the better version of it. But these are principles that are time tested, repeatable under every condition, um, and and they play out. Now, do they play out in the way that we want to see them, or how we expect to see them? We are at a time that I believe, and based on many of people's study, that we are in a huge societal transformation. Yeah, that's the right slide. And so we see these things, natural law, playing out in real time and every day, and they come true regardless of our desire. However, man's law, human's law, is based upon beliefs that are which we. And this is a quote I'm going to take from a mentor of mine. A beautiful theory is slayed by a simple fact. And oftentimes, I'm living in one of these careers that um, there was a fact I learned 4 or 5 years ago, 5 years ago now, that changed what I have been taught is over 100 years of history and study. And I struggled with that for a long time. However, I've seen the fact play out. Um, and when I apply that fact in front of people who are unaware of that fact, the results that are had are hard to believe by the individual who doesn't know that fact. And yet I'm watching it and expecting it and knowing it's going to happen. And frankly now awaiting the amazement of particularly those who know the supposed facts already. And what am I speaking about? I'm speaking about spinal and postural correction. I have the most intimate knowledge at the highest levels um, of almost of all the time I say no. And of where one could be considered an expert in something, that's something I know I could be considered an expert in. And when I'm surrounded with other people that are considered experts in this field, not that because I didn't discover. I've only been shown these facts. I stand on the shoulders of giants, and I think I made that statement. And this is where we can all accelerate. In fact, this is where the human species can accelerate. Is when we can have open discussion, open open fact sharing, transparency, so that we can build upon our existing knowledge. I came across a story about what was I listening to? It was about the ancient Middle East, and part of the culture there was an expectation that every 20 to 30 years or so, 2 to 3 decades, there would be somebody that would have this new level of knowledge. So they were expecting a teacher. This was in the Buddhist and um, uh, the Indian, Middle Eastern cultures a couple thousand years ago, where um, there was this the understanding of how time played out in our yearly seasons, in our decades, or there's patterns, and they go with the planetary cycles. So the moon goes around every 28 and so odd days, and the sun 364 point whatever, and well, Venus is 8 years. I know some off the top of my head, some I don't. There's certain patterns with Saturn at 12 years. But anyway, today something is magical. Something I say magical divine's perfect timing with the sun and Jupiter doing a point of challenge today. But if we can navigate the AKA stormy waters of the emotions, then once we have clarity of options we choose with our heart, there's going to be automatic expansion in a positive way. And we've all been mulling over, and I was sharing this with Coach Ryan earlier today. We've all been mulling over something since May. Things were happening. A check was being cashed. This is in life, and perhaps many different topics within your life. But a check was being cashed no matter what. We had to play out the ramifications of choices, decisions, and behaviors and actions that we have conscious knowledge of, but also unconscious knowledge of. These are patterns in the subconscious. And some people are theorizing the subconscious realm contains either the collective conscious, the whole human consciousness is contained in this realm of the depths of the mind, or our soul has had some other life experience, a past life, and we're paying the piper. We are purifying what has to be purified, or we are collecting. Oh, we had a pause. Oh, here we are, we're back. Or we are collecting what the good work we've done, or whatever version of a shift. Where we're having a new story, new spiritual story, a new energy story, a new karmic story, a new cycle, a new something. And I pause on that specifically because there's all different terms, different points of view. Oftentimes, the challenge is what's called lexicon, the different descriptions of the same thing. Where people are describe the same thing from different languages, or every science has its own language essentially, or another example. And oftentimes, if one group doesn't understand the language of another group, they can't communicate, and therefore, well, we have confusion. But in many ways, we're all talking about the same thing, just different names. All right, so bringing it back, we're talking about synchronicity. We're talking about, let's see what the title for today is. The synchronicity, we're talking about, of course, we're always talking about intention, but that's not today's title. Timing in life, synchronicities and timing in life. Well, I had a really awesome circumstance happen today, and I've been uh, acting on doing this daily work of investing in intention and personal growth, and essentially studying something and to a new level, and taking the step-by-step actions. And today I'm just following my heart, and I'm in this spot where I was where I believed I was led to be, and a person whose shop I'm going into, as I'm making some text messages in my car, whatever, comes walking right by. I hop out the car, yell her name. She goes, "Oh my goodness, I'm not even supposed to be here today." So interesting that you got me. And I haven't seen her 2 or 3 years, and happened to be a spot to where I was marketing, and boom, this person was. I got to share the message I needed to share, spread the word, make the connection. Where's it going to go? I don't know. Will it go somewhere? Well, there's definitely interest. So with that, it just fueled my own fulfillment of the intentions I started with today. Because unbeknownst to myself, when I started listening to the report for today's energy, for today's how do you navigate, this circumstance was exactly described. Not the person's name or where it was going to be or any of that, just the nature of the interaction. So what I'm getting at is that when you've been noticing the things that are happening in perfect alignment, it seems weird, the coincidences, the person or the situation that you think about, and all of a sudden, boom, it happens. Or you get an inkling of a thought of something before, boom, something shows up that matches that thought. It's a beautiful process of how life interacts with our mind interacts with life and our mind with our body, and vice versa. All this perfection of the sacred geometry of life. I may be so bold. And share the pictures of different patterns of how things align. Interesting nature of working with people, their life scenarios, their life challenges in relationship to the external environmental energy, what shows up for them matches these patterns, and it's beautiful science. So our body, so with me saying this and me showing the class earlier, is to encourage you that where you are in life may be exactly where you need to be, and it is exactly where you need to be. And there's things that you are shifting, things that you're working on growing. And if you're listening, if you come across this, well, this is a sign that there's information that I have to share with you that will be a benefit to you. And you've been attracting this, and hence it shows up in. We'll be talking about the mind, body, spirit, soul connections. How your pains, your problems, your dreams, your desires are all part of the same package of getting you to connect with and live through and be in that now with your heart. Blessings, best regards. I'm Dr. Kevin Drina. Please support the channel by giving a thumbs up. Go to drkeving.com. Check out, you see the link scrolling across down there, and check out the class that we have coming next Monday. Oh, we're talking about natural law and how it plays in the human body and how to use what's called the reflex response system to access your internal healer by attending the Becoming Your Own Healer workshop. Yes, it's going to be live here in Southern New Jersey, but it's also going to be streamed a live interactive webinar. So I'm gonna close with playing a little bit of myself giving a informative discussion share about the nature of becoming your own healer. So stay tuned. Here we go.
And correlating energy pattern in and around your body.
We're going to go ahead and start that over. We missed the opening line there, so we're going to get it right, do it right, and give you the whole question that gets things started. Here we go.
Did you know that your mental state of being has a corresponding and correlating energy pattern in and around your body? Did you know that your body has an internal ability to heal itself? Just like any cut, think about it, it heals. Healing happens from the inside out. Now let me ask you one more question. Did you know that you can learn to enhance this healing? You can learn to balance and align these energy patterns. Our body has a secret language and it's constantly communicating with us. What if I could show you a logical system to communicate back and forth with this internal healer, kind of like having a super spy technology to open up the bank vault? You use the technology, it finds the combination for you, you just press the button and the vault door opens. Well, in the human body, there are numerous layers and systems, organs and elements, symptoms and symbols that make up our physical experience, just like the combination lock. The question becomes, how does one know what to do first, second, third, and so forth to unlock these energetic and physical patterns so you can align with your greatest self? Well, there is an answer. An absolute and clear system on what to do and how to apply the solution fast. In this program, you will develop the knowledge of the energetic pattern flow of the human body. You'll also learn how and what the non-physical layers of the human energetic body are. You'll develop certainty working with and learning how to heal, balance, and align these energy patterns, and you'll develop a professional skill set to tap into, or even your own loved one's internal intelligence to get the systematic answers that you're looking for. By the end of the class, you'll be able to identify the causes to the problems and find their solutions, and you'll know what to do first, second, third to align the energetic patterns, align the physical patterns, so you can get the results that you're looking for.